You're listening to the LouddMouth Radio Network.
I used to be a people pleaser, considerably so. And I guess you could say I'm a recovering people pleaser. And that's an honest statement because it just feels good to be able to be honest about it. It furthermore feels good to know that I am in my steps to walking away from things that just haven't been serving, right? And knowing that you have things about you, good, bad, or indifferent, is such a powerful way to increase your life. And the more you're in tune with things that you know behavioral that affects you, dampens you, or shadows over your life in some form or fashion, I think it helps you to recover from those habits. And I'm not saying that it's an all in, get rid of it because you acknowledged it. No, it's if you've had some habitual behaviors, it takes a long time to remove those habits. We do things so much in the course of our day that we don't even think that we're doing it. We don't have to think about the process of doing it. We get in our cars, we know to hit the key and unlock the door and get in the door. Get in the car, you close your door behind you. Most likely you're probably sitting whatever you're having your hand down. You're going to put your seatbelt on. At some point, you're going to start the car. And for many of us, we may put our seatbelts on first, and some of us may put the car and put it into drive, put the car in reverse or put it in forward into drive, and then put your seatbelt on. But we don't literally put a lot of mind measurement to those inch by inch moments, do we? We just have done it because it's become habitual. So because of that type of innate ability to do things without really thinking of it, that means that you have consciously become habitual in doing it. And so that also carries on in our ways of what we're doing in our lives and how we're conducting ourselves, how we're interacting with people, what are we allowing in our lives, how we're being, thinking, speaking. All of it is relevant, right? And so I don't know about you guys, but I know that it's important enough for me to know that taking inventory of my life and the things that I'm doing and what's not serving me is utterly important. And I don't know if it's part of the level of maturity that comes along with the aging process, but I know for me that there's some significant strides I'm working towards going into 2025, not waiting, but going into 2025, which also means that we're going to consciously look at what we have right now so that we can clear our paths for 2025. Y'all know what time it is. It's Monday, and it's time for Sonny's Money Motivation. Let's go. Welcome to LouddMouth Radio Network. My name is Sonny. As a former professional athlete turned entrepreneur realtor and the producer of LouddMouth Radio Network, I look forward to bringing content to you that empowers, inspires, and entertains you. Tune in each week as we have unscripted and unfiltered talks from entrepreneurship, real estate, politics, entertainment, comedy, LGBTQ topics, day-to-day life, and everything in between. All shows available on demand 24/7 on your favorite podcast platforms.
Portals Entertainment Center is a new 13,000 square foot entertainment experience now open in Temecula. Portals creates a space where your imagination can be set free. Step into an immersive entertainment center that will take visitors into one of our many attractions, which include 2 9-hole indoor mini golf courses, an immersive laser tag arena, a designated arcade space, a food service component, party and event spaces, and a hidden 21 and over lounge. Portals aims to give each visitor a unique experience, taking them to unknown worlds and experiencing an entertainment center like no other. Open 7 days a week, located at 26469 Inez Road in Temecula, California, in between At Home and Temecula Theaters. Come check us out and step into adventure.
What's up, y'all? It's the homie Sonny. Y'all know what time it is. It's Sonny's LouddMouth Comedy Presents, and we're coming back for a whole new show for January 10th, 2025. And guess what? It's a Friday night. Do not play around. Go to LouddMouth Comedy, LouddMouth comedy.com. We got some amazing comedians for the next show. Feature comedians Jamario McLean, Regina Ivory, and you know the show is hosted by nobody other than the Marina comedy Kevin Davis. Doors open at 7. Comedy showcase starts at 8, and your feature comedies go up right after that. $25 advance tickets, $35 at the door. But guess what? Right now, we got a limited time offer of 2 tickets for $45. You got to get them, LouddMouthComedy.com, and check it. My birthday people, I know this is Capricorn season now. We're going into January. If you got a group of folks and you want to come in and have a good time, go ahead and get your reserved tables. You know you can get those right now, LouddMouthComedy.com. Don't wait. Limited time offer. See y'all then. Peace.
The Breeze Effect is your premier destination for professional in-home wine tastings and mobile wine bar services. Our customized mobile trailer is designed to bring a touch of elegance and sophistication to any event. At Breeze Effect, we believe that every celebration deserves an intimate and unique experience that you and your guests will remember for a lifetime.
Right now, I have so much gratitude for a candle that is burning in my studio with me right now. It's been burning for the last 3 days. And it's one of those big candles that have a nice wide glass, kind of tall, probably about a foot in height, right? And it's one of those candles that just gives you that opportunity of iridescence, because it's burning away the components that it has inside of the jar. And a lot of times we'll burn candles, we'll burn incense. I know I'm an incense burner, especially particular certain ones I like to burn. Candles, whether it's soy or just general wax. A lot of times we burn them for the smell. Sometimes the aspect of the feeling that it gives in the space. And a lot of times people are usually burning things like sage or candles or incense because they're wanting to clear the space, or kind of give a opportunity to defect the things that may be remaining in the space with you, right? So it's so ironic. When I made this decision to title this content today, it just kind of gave me this iridescent feeling of preparation and acknowledgement. Because if you're not acknowledging certain things about self, it makes it hard to pick it apart. And if you're not honest with yourself about those things, because honestly, there's really only maybe 1-2 people that can give a level of what you are, or your makeup. And maybe 3, you yourself, and as they say, me, myself, and I. But the reality is that honestly, it is between you and your higher power that lies within the elements of who you are, right? So for me, I made a decision to give myself the permission to be frank and honest about the aspects of self that may not necessarily sit right with me at times, right? Because you're not always necessarily tapping into certain things all the time. You do things a lot of time based upon reactions. You do things based upon situations. And most times we're doing things in the midst of life. So there's so many things that can create obstacles or situations and circumstances, right? But how we occupy ourselves in those moments define a lot of who we are, or how people receive us, or how people conceive that we are, right? So if we're not taking the time to embellish ourselves of our own reality of who we are, then it kind of leaves us open to subjective opinions, what people say, the reputation in which people have garnered or given you in their connection to what they either have had interaction with you or very quite possibly what they've heard, right? And so if you don't have that plug of yourself really tight, and even if it's not the best aspect of certain things, but you need to be tight of knowing who you are in that capacity. Even if it's your evolutionary process is happening, you still have to kind of be in touch with the root of who you are. Because if not, then that leaves you to, let's just take social media, for instance. We see it all the time. People are talking about various people that are in this space, whether they're considered a quote unquote celebrity or personality or influencer, you know, all these different adjectives that we use to define aspects of people, right? The reality is, though, that a lot of times it could be what is a conclusion of what they think that you are, or what they're hearing, or what's being posted and said. You know, it's not hard for people to create a rumor, especially now. All right. Back in the day as a kid, there was a song that was extremely popular. Look at all these rumors. Ride me every day. I just need some time to get away from all these rumors. I can't take it no more. Oh yeah, I told my age. Okay. But that was a real song that gave real essence to how our society felt as teenagers, as young adults. And for some of you all, you may have been kids who are not even in this space and time yet. And, you know, even we can go back even further and say, you know, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words would never hurt me. You know, we used to have these little cliches of things that we would say. But the real reality is that we are now in a place and time where words are being utilized to either hurt or harm. Right. And or there may be some neutrality there. But how important is it for us to know who we are? Because it's very much a thing now for youth, young adult, grown men and women to take what is being said, stated, or perceived to be who or what someone may say that you are, and it becomes what most may say may be fact. So I'm not saying, because not everybody's on social media like that. I'm just using this as one aspect of explanation or analogy, right? You have some people that go to church. They may not be into social media, but they may still watch the news, you know, and they may take the newspaper and read those reports and whatever else is in there, right, that's being said. It's the same aspect. You're taking in something. Right? We're in a world now where media has no limitations. And you know the words and the things and the statements they say that who owns the media owns hey, really the influence. So knowing that we have all of these aspects going on with us, it makes me dig even deeper and say you have to discover you more and more every day. You have to remember to take in who you decide to be that day, how you decide to conduct yourself, and who you decide not to be. Because there's a lot of times you can be reactive to things and you could be what we call out of pocket. And that may not be the nature of who you are, but for it to surface, that means that there's a capability or a level. And I'm not saying that we're not all capable of doing things like murder or harming somebody. That's not at all what I'm saying, because if we're here presently, we can. Any of us can have that capability if given a certain type of situation. But I think the natural part of who we are has a core system that we operate on. Am I right? And because we operate in that core system, it is a lot of what drives us to the way we speak, the way we interact, the way we listen to others, the way we consider others, consider ourselves, how much we analyze and measure things about ourselves and other people. So guys, when I tell you there's so many layers to this aspect of this conversation that I could go on and on and on, but at the real root of it is that as we're getting ready to encounter the end of 2024, if you've been somewhere on a moon, that's probably the only place where you've been where you haven't been exposed to the tremendous amount of changes, death, arch stories of things that have been put forth. This has been an election year. There has been so much upheaval in 2024, and good, bad, and indifferent. I'm not saying there's been one dimensional. It has not been. But there's been so many aspects of things that has taken place in this one 365 day year, this calendar year. We are days away from 2025 now. This is the last Sonny's Monday Motivation that I'll do for 2024. So I could look back at the last 52 weeks of having these conversations with you guys every day and saying, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's on my mind. I may even be sharing some aspects of myself. Just to know that we've had so much in 1 year happen. Think about how much we've taken into our minds, how much we've read, how much we've watched, how much we've listened to, how much we have engaged, how much we've eaten, how much we have drank, how much we have slept, how much we haven't slept. If you really think about what we've consumed in the last 363 days, 64 days, that's a lot. And then you multiply that by year after year after year after year after year. So to me, it gives great relevance to say it is something awesome to actually work consciously to clear your path. And your path is your determination, what that is. That could be a room in your house. It could be a space in your car. It could be the inner energy in your body. It could be the matter between your two temples. It could be what sits in the hind side of your eyesight, what's between your ears, what's projectile in your thoughts. So whatever you feel like you need to do in that aspect, I recommend that you find some amazing way to clear your path as you prepare for 2025. So I'm not a foreseer to the point of where I'm going to give you a play-by-play of what 2025 looks like, right? That's not my lane per se. But I will tell you that we're all creators in the way in which our lives unfold. And so whatever clay you're molding for your next year is actually starting right now. It's starting in the actual aspect of the very thought that you're coming to a conclusion of an end of this year. And when I tell you, just for you to hear my voice, just for you to be able to hear what I'm saying to you, is such a gift. I think that if something else that has not impressing me so much this year is about the present moment of time and the gift of time. That is something that we really don't honor enough. And the last few weeks, personally, I've had a lot of family death and people in the area of friends or social aspects of connection, death, and it's part of life. Don't get me wrong. But just like yesterday, we lost, was it yesterday or today? Jimmy Carter. He actually lived to be 100 years old. Right? I had a TV show I used to love to watch, Alice. Right? Linda Lavin, this actress that played in Alice, she passed, and I think either today or yesterday. And there's countless people, and I'm not giving essence of labels of individual people and making this solemn, this somber moment, but I'm just giving the factor of reality of what is happening around us, that people are leaving this plane and people are coming into this plane. So if we're right here now, Speaking of planes, a plane went down with 179 passengers in, I think it's Korea, right? And 2 people walked away from that plane coming down and exploding. So when I tell you guys, to be able to have this moment, there's this one thing that stands out right now on one of my motivational pieces on my wall: make every moment count. So we are at a space and time that we can give so much essence to. And we make that decision right now. Like, what is our play? Like, are we going to, not to say that you don't have days ahead, but there's just something powerful about completion, right? And whether you're ready or not, 2025 is coming and 2024 is wrapping. Like, literally, we have one more day and so many hours of this year remaining. And once it's gone, it is gone. So there's no, oh, I had this that's coming with me. There's certain things that just won't come with you. There's certain things you want to leave behind. I pray. Right? And I feel like there's this need to have more conviction about the way we act and treat people. Because there's nothing worse knowing that you could have been a much better person. You could have been a much better actor in the role of this thing you're calling life. And I even take hold of my own statement of saying that, I'll have these moments and I say, God, I have these desires and I have these desires. And in the essence of that, I also think about the people who I interact with. And I know that I consciously find myself praying or wishing well for folks that I know, or if they come across my mind, or I see something in conjunction to them and it stands out in the sense of, their accomplishments or something that's going on in their life that they're doing. And I get a chance to be exposed to it. I honestly find myself, feeling the connection of that success or that accomplishment. And I also feel, like I said in the beginning of this broadcast, the struggle of sometimes combating the act of people pleasing. And if you don't know what people pleasing is, each is on how that may be defined. But for me, there's some times when people may or may not treat you the way you would treat them. And it may not be driven based upon you. Sometimes it could be their own shortcomings that they're working from. But you may find yourself, even in the midst of being aware that somebody is not being kind to you, they're not being, they're deliberately being, condescending or rude or something crazy, right? And then you find yourself in the measurement of thought of consideration as to why would they want to do that? And do I, 1, respond to it? 2, do I ignore it? 3, do I just continue to try to be the person that is the bigger person and try to still, play this part of this role of desire of wanting to interact with this person? So these are just ways I'm trying to give essence to the light of how people pleasing can kind of roll out. Now, for me, I've come to understand a lot of bearings of who I am, and the root of who I am, honestly, is a lover of people, just naturally, not necessarily somebody of a certain race or gender or size or height. It's just general, just humanity, right? But I'm human too, right? So there's times where I may have conflicts or disagreements or not aligned and not in the same space as another person may be. And that's okay. But what isn't okay is for Sonny to self-sacrifice or do some things that puts them in a position to go against what I know to be working against me, or putting me in a space of harm's way emotionally or mentally, or creating my own anguish, knowing that this other individual could care less, and they don't desire to do anything that's of good, and they would, rather misuse the aspect of me versus not misusing me, right, in the wrong way, if that makes sense. This is just I'm just giving an analogy here. So for me, I have learned to catch myself, in that reaction, because I have to remember that it's always not about me in that sense. It may not have anything to do directly with me, and sometimes it may, but it is not my responsibility to analyze and dissect another individual's thoughts, processes, or actions if they're not willing to share it with me. If they're not willing to confront me about it, if they're not willing to be honest about it, if they're not willing to be accountable about it, then how much room do I have to deal with it? It's not given opportunity, right? So I'm just using myself in this space, in this moment of conversation, to give you highlight of how it's important to be honest with yourself and recognize things that may not be serving you well. And there's times that does not serve me well because of what I've allowed myself to compromise myself about. Does that make sense? So in order for us to continue to keep transformational existence in our lives, which is what this platform of this show is in regards to, transformational messages and the ability to make a higher connection to what is going on in our day-to-day lives that can be used to improve, empower us, to give us inspiration, to evoke change, to evoke strength, to know more about your prowess. These are the reasons why I'm even on this mic talking to you. Truly. Right? And in this space and moment, I'm not people pleasing, but it does please me to reach to the people. You get what I'm saying? So for me, this is a natural, good space, and a sound space, and a strong space, a discerning space, a space that allows me to be fully present in my conversation. And at this moment, I'm in the studio by myself. But once I completely record this content, do all my editing, load it into production, and release it, I've allowed myself to release whatever ambitions and thoughts that I had preconceived before I released it. I've already acknowledged what I wanted to say. I've already acknowledged my position. I've already acknowledged what I want to give out to the world. And then it's only up to, from there, it's not for me to figure out who will or won't take it for what it's worth. But I've done the part that I felt like I needed to do first. So guys, those types of aspects of doing things for self helps, part of those aspects of what I'm saying about clearing your path, right? So you're doing these things that are deliberate, and you're doing them because they have meaning, they have purpose, and they have conviction, right? And it gives you something enough to be able to make you want to do and be more. And so I think for anybody at this point in time that will hear this segment at whatever time you do, my prayer for you and my desire of you is to fully and truly continue to keep growing in the desires that you have for yourself. Because remember, your evolution is for you to navigate, nobody else's. Because we can want whatever we want for you all day long, but if it's not the walk that you decide to take, then it does not give relevance, right? And I just wanted to give light to one aspect of what can be such a huge marker for your 2025's unfolding. Because when we do our own inner work and we consciously work to unearth things that are not healthy, it gives us so much more resolve than we can ever imagine. Our blood pressure drops, our minds come at ease, the world starts to slow down, things start to get a little more quieter. Your presence is stronger, and people can feel your attention to the moment. All of these things that happen simultaneously is a wonderful thing, and it's a wonderful gift. So I want to extend to each and every one of you a wonderful holiday season. And I pray that you have amazing, I hope that you had a great Christmas, but I want to also give you, if you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, any of the elements during this time period that people relish in. And I also pray that you're safe. Because you already know 2025 is coming in, and that means that there's a possibility people may be setting off fireworks, they may be shooting guns, things of that nature. As my mother said, if they go up, they got to come back down. So try to be careful in handling those things that can kick back and possibly cause any type of harm to you or people around you. You're like, let's just handle those things safely. Secondly, remember to breathe, guys. Remember to follow your heart. Remember to cherish every moment and make every moment count. And today is that day that you can actively work to clear your path for 2025. All right, y'all. Be blessed. Performing comedy is like creating magic. To hear the room explode with laughter is priceless. And to produce comedy is like having a glass of Stella Rosa, the ability to have others wind down with laughter. With LouddMouth Comedy, it isn't just about me, Sonny. It's also the many hardworking comedians that are dedicated to writing and performing night after night, stage after stage, displaying their talents to the world, and we all do it for the love of comedy. Sometimes you have to remember to relax and savor the moment one sip at a time. Cheers. Here's to 13 years of LouddMouth Comedy. Save the date, April 1st through the 6th, 2025. Save the date, April 1st through the 6th, 2025. Sonny's LouddMouth Comedy presents For the Love of Comedy Spring Comedy Festival is happening right in the Temecula Valley area. We're talking about 6 days, over 10 plus shows, over 30 plus comedians. Woo, I need you to be prepared and be ready. So guess what? I need you to bookmark this website, LouddMouthComedyFestival.com. This is with a comedy lineup, all the announcements, schedule, all the great things that's going on, from networking events, cocktail kickoff, multiple comedy shows. Even we'll have something for the family. I cannot wait for you guys to participate. So I need you to make sure you mark the dates, April 1st through the 6th. Hold the website, LouddMouthComedyFestival.com. And be prepared. More announcements coming soon. All right, y'all. Ciao.
Hello, my name is Takasha Smith. I'm the owner of Takasha's Kitchen, based out of Menifee in the Southern California area. As a chef and caterer, I provide private cooking classes, couples dinners, and private parties. As a female pitmaster, I am able to create a personalized experience for your family reunion gatherings. I create menus based on my clients' needs to have a more personal vibe. You can find Takasha's Kitchen on all social media networks such as Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and my YouTube channel at Takasha's Kitchen. And that's spelled TACASHAS Kitchen, KITCHEN.
You're listening to the LouddMouth Radio Network.
Here at Wonderland Learning Center, we're located at 288 East Main Street in San Jacinto. We provide a safe and secure learning environment. We are now enrolling 2 to 5-year-olds with our preschool curriculum. We offer before and after school care. Breakfast, lunch, and snacks are provided. We accept all programs. We are open Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Our website is wonderlandlearningcenter.com.
You're listening to the LouddMouth Radio Network.